Good evening. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy post-Thanksgiving to everyone out there. My name is Mark Fabric. I am your Inspire to Inspire host for the evening, and I am joined by none other than Matt and Eli, who are two friends. Say hello, guys. How are you guys doing?
Doing good. Thanks for having us. Really stoked to be here and doing this with you.
Awesome, guys. Yeah, we're really stoked to have you. This is going to be a really fun time right here. Hopefully, we're going to get a lot of viewers on here. We are going to leave it open to some questions also from the fans. Just ask that on the YouTube chat to the right of the video for those of you who are asking. And also after the live stream right here, Matt and Eli are going to answer a few questions on your EDM's Instagram story that they took over for us. Did an awesome job for us this afternoon, too.
Nothing's off limits, so ask whatever you want about us, music, touring, hobbies, anything, and we'll either answer them right now or afterwards in the Instagram stories.
Awesome, cool. So the guys are fresh off the While We're Dreaming tour, and in fact, they're actually still doing some touring for that, but they were lucky enough to get a little break for Thanksgiving. But what we want to talk to the guys about today is that both Matt and Eli, you guys went to very prestigious top-tier colleges, Stanford and Vanderbilt to be exact. And we kind of want to talk to you guys about what was it like having gone to those schools and going after a non-traditional career path like music when it's probably expected they'd be like an accountant or a lawyer or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, we always knew we were going to go to college, and we kind of started making music together as soon as we were graduating high school, so we didn't know what we were doing at all.
Well, sorry to interrupt, but just to give a little more background for those of you that don't know. So we've known each other since we were 12 years old. We've been best friends since we met each other in 7th grade in Los Angeles at middle school. Went to middle school and high school together, but like Matt kind of just said, we didn't really start actually working on any music stuff until the very end, which was right before we split up for college. And then, so the first 4 years of Two Friends was actually kind of long distance except for all the breaks.
Right. So we kind of, we definitely weren't going to like not go to college. We didn't even know how to make music at that point. Like I always played guitar. I was like in choir kind of. I played little clarinet, right? But yeah, we kind of, throughout college, we were pretty committed throughout the whole time, even when we weren't good and didn't know what we were doing. And college was just kind of like, okay, we're definitely going to college. We're already in. We're doing it. And, by the time we were kind of getting some good momentum, it was probably mid of junior year. And we're like, all right, let's just, let's finish up. A year and a half left and then go full time after that. And, we were basically throughout all of college, we were working with the mindset of, all right, we have to like get to a certain point so that we have the decision to do this full time or try it full time, rather than senior year, mid-senior year, start applying for jobs and stuff, because it's probably a lot harder in this exact situation we were in. It would have been a lot harder to apply for jobs, start the job life, like the normal job life, and then try to go music full time rather than just jumping into it.
Yeah, so I think you kind of said this, but like, yeah, we knew it would be hard to be in a position where graduation happens and then day after we're like, no hesitation. Oh yeah, we're killing it. Like, that wasn't necessarily realistic, but at least what we want to do is be in a position where we feel comfortable at least going for it, And if 2 years after that, if nothing was really picking up and, we were struggling, like, what? All right, we could re-gauge. We're glad that we got our degrees, but we need to go for it because, like Matt said, otherwise, when would we ever do it?
Yeah.
Awesome. Love that. Great point right there. And what was it like? I'm sure you watched a lot of your friends and your classmates go on and get real jobs and stuff like that. Did that ever pressure you guys to be like, man, we got to get our stuff together and do something different? Or how did that kind of work out for you guys right there?
I think it's probably similar, but feel free to have your own answer. I mean, I think for me, it was like, and family too, you kind of had to like win them over, almost like show how committed you were, show that, hey, this is actually good. Hey, people actually like it. And then, it kind of went from like, oh, that guy, he makes music, to like, oh, that guy makes really good music. Like, let me show you it kind of thing. And at that point, you know, it's kind of like they're your cheerleaders, your friends and family and stuff. And they're like, you know, all for it. Like our families are super supportive. They know, like, you know, whenever, instead of getting internships, besides like freshman year, every summer we treat this like a full-time job. We just go to my like studio, which was not this at all. It was like a table right over here,
with
but like the room was totally not. Yeah,
acoustic foam.
the room was just like a blank room. And yeah, we just treat it every day. You know, 11 a.m. to like 7 p.m. Monday through Friday in the summers. We just be there.
And like Matt said, I mean, we really are definitely very, very fortunate that we did have, you know, support from our family and friends. But at the end of the day, also, like, the number one thing for us was holding ourselves accountable. Like, you know what, if, not that it ever got to this point necessarily, but like, if people were really doubting us and whatever, you know, if we could prove to ourselves that it was working and we were having fun and, you know, things were picking up and we were on a good trajectory, that's all that mattered to us, is we had the mindset of like, you know, we're going for this.
I think, you know, we concentrate on the input of what you put into it, not like the output of like what happens from it. You know, if you put in the hours and like make smart decisions and you try to be innovative and try to like build a brand, like good things will happen.
Nice. And that's like a perfect segue, I guess, when you guys were in college and were starting to work together long distance rather than in person. What were some of the challenges that you guys encountered in that long distance professional relationship that weren't there when you guys were, you know, in high school and were together working on music?
Yeah, I mean, I would say we gradually developed a good rhythm and a good workflow where, you know, we clearly knew each other's strengths. And I think that's been, even to this day, something that is so helpful to us, is having two people and kind of knowing each other's strengths and weaknesses and trying to really maximize how we can be, you know, never kind of wasting a moment where, you know, obviously there's a lot of stuff that we do totally together and, you know, important decisions we make together, a lot of music stuff we obviously do together, but then we also, you know, we could almost do double productivity. And I think college, I think it gave us it was a good time to start for us because, you know, we weren't like necessarily having that pressure of like, okay, we need to go DJ the local bar because we need to pay rent. You know, it was a good time of like, we obviously were going to take it very seriously and put the pressure on ourselves, but it wasn't like we were like, you know, just like trying to go for it right off the bat and, you know, didn't have like a fallback plan.
Right. Well, it's more like we didn't have the pressure on ourselves to like do anything that wasn't with the end goal of like growing. Right. Like we weren't gonna, you know, like everything we were focusing on was like branding or music. You know, not like playing random shows that like there's no way it's gonna help you, stuff like that. You know, which is good. And then also, you know, since we kind of started literally when we were graduating high school. We like didn't know, we never worked together really in person anyway. You know, we never had the chance. It's not like the summers were nice for sure, but you know, for freshman year of college, you know, that was like our real first time, and we've had this like janky ass system of like taking an aux cord to like my input of my laptop and like reorganizing like the Skype settings.
So plus, like, I mean, then there's also like time zones. Even I guess it wasn't that bad. I was 2 hours later, but then I did a semester in Europe, so I was 9 hours later. Yeah, so it'd be like, that was the worst. You know, we cross each other like at 5 a.m. for one of us is like getting a few words, and then, but I mean, and then I think on a more broad level, and I'm sure a ton of other producers could easily relate, and also it's something that a lot of other like people and entrepreneurial type people can relate to, whether it's music or starting your own business or a ton of things, you know, sports, a ton of things where, you know, Matt always likes to give the example of you have what is it? You have your social life, your academic life, and your music life. And like, you're not going to do 100% on all three. I think that's just impossible. So it's a game of sacrifices, and, you know.
Yeah. And that's like in school, especially. I feel like it's a whole different ballgame outside of school. Ends up being like, music is 100%, right. No social.
But I mean, yeah, you know, we wanted to take our academics seriously. You know, we obviously worked hard to to get into those schools and wanted to get degrees and take it very seriously. So sort of get that work done, but you're always in the back of your head, like thinking like, I need to just get this essay out of the way because I want to spend the rest of the the weekend or the night focusing on this. And then you have your friends saying, hey, let's go do this, go do that. Like obviously you need to, for your own sanity, you're going to do that sometimes, but it's making sacrifices and trying to find that balance.
Just finding about like my schedule pretty much like most of college was because I just needed to find a way to try to maximize all three of those categories that I mentioned. I would do like, I had class and stuff and like probably 11 a.m., 10 a.m., something like that. And like mostly, school from then to around like dinner. Then I would like do homework till like, honestly, like maybe midnight or 11. And then I would from like 11 to like 4 a.m. I'd do music. And then go to sleep, wake up at like 10 or 11. And it was just like the weirdest, like, compartmentalized schedule.
But I think, and I think we kind of took that and, now we obviously don't have school, but we still need to kind of stay on a good rhythm of holding ourselves accountable and sticking to a good system because, there's so many distractions. It is, if someone, it's not like we need to request hours off to HR. So there always is the possibility if something important happens, we're glad that we do have the luxury of like, okay, we could, we need to take the day off because we have this family thing or whatever. But at the same time, some of our friends, it was a little tricky for them to figure out, like, we don't really have like real jobs, but to us, it's a real job. And so we're like, oh, come, let's go to the beach. You don't do anything anyway. You're just like you're in the basement. And it's like, okay, like if I did that today, then tomorrow someone else is going to ask me to do that. And then next thing you know, like, we're just never doing anything. So we do try to, we feel so lucky that this is a job. We try to treat it like a job.
Yeah, we pretty much don't miss days.
Nice. And I was gonna say, like, it seems like you guys take like a real like measured approach. You always approach it like very professionally, like you said, like it's a job. Were there ever any times where you guys thought like, man, this isn't gonna work out, and you were close to maybe giving up and just going back to that regular 9 to 5? Did that ever come across you guys played at all, or has it always been just straight ahead?
I mean, luckily we've kind of never felt like down on the trajectory. So kind of it's always, maybe it's been like a slower growth or like a speedier growth like this year. But, we haven't been at that point, fortunately. And even if we were, I think a lot of it is just hunkering down, leaning on each other, powering through it.
Hunkering that word?
Yeah, getting in like this.
I mean, I would say, just to be totally honest, the first year after graduation, that first year, like, we were not doing a lot of shows and not making a lot of money. So, but I think rather than kind of focusing on like the backup or like, oh man, what did we do? I think that kind of just more than anything motivated us to think in the mindset of like, okay, what, how can we keep going forward and growing? Just rather than like trying to, focus on the negative or whatever, just keep focusing on what positives we can
and
do.
just make like kind of like not reading the future, but just being like, all right, if trends are going this way, you don't have to follow the trends, but don't do something that's going like that no one, that you're not passionate about and or no one else is passionate about. Do something that you really like and you think, your audience is going to like. So, I think it's just kind of I'm creative, but like, be strategic. You're a businessman in the end.
Nice. And I guess, to kind of wrap things up right there, you guys have been doing the music together for a long time, but it's really in like the kind of like last year, like 2 years or so, you guys have really been starting to blow up with songs like Emily, and stuff like that. What's kind of like you guys' vision for Two Friends in the next couple of years? And do you guys have any fears at all like over the next couple of years?
You want to go or you want me?
You start.
All right. So next couple of years of Two Friends, I think what we're trying to do is, and this year kind of was the first turn of that. Like we're trying to really start, we've always been making originals, but now we're releasing more of them and which is kind of giving a better picture of who we are and as songwriters, as producers, as musicians. So definitely, pushing a lot of the originals, just putting out more, And then on the tour side, like we're about to announce our biggest tour yet, which is gonna be sick. And then no doubt we'll have another one in like the fall, and then with a million stuff in between. But like, you know, kind of just building this, starting kind of in the North America where we're from, building that audience, building that homegrown U.S. fan base, Canada, Mexico, and then hopefully, you know, we'll be able to go to Australia or Asia or Europe pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've, even 6 years ago when we were first starting, we tried to, you know, really focus on a sustainable plan of like how we operate together, how, you know, consistently releasing music, you know, picking up the touring and everything, so that we want to be ready, you know, like we feel like with our team in place, like we're ready to keep, you know, going up a notch, and we're just, you know, staying on a consistent momentum trajectory.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just, you know, we feel like it's doing more of what we know how to do and just doing it more and bigger and better. And you know, we're
very
excited.
Excited about a lot of the music we've just been working on, like kind of just music in general right now. I think is in a cool spot where you can really do anything you want, and people listen to good music no matter what. So that's kind of what I'm excited about for sure.
Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. Matt, Eli, thank you very much, guys. Really appreciate your time. Thanks for being part of the Aspire to Inspire series. And yeah, we're really looking forward to what you guys have to bring in 2018 right there.
Appreciate it.
It's going to be an awesome year.
Yeah, thanks for having us. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, guys.
We'll be good right now. We're going to log back into the Instagram stories, and I know there's a couple questions that we'll hop on and answer. But yeah, thanks again for having us, and we'll.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
thank you.
Definitely, guys. Yeah, exactly. Like Eli said right there, hop back onto our URDM IG story. They're going to be answering a few more questions. And if you want to hear more stories like this about your favorite artists sharing their personal and professional challenges that they've overcome, make sure to hit the subscribe link in the description right there. And I think this is it for 2017 right here for us. So happy holidays to you and all your families. Looking forward to seeing you guys in 2018. Thanks for all the support. And yeah, this is Mark Fabric signing out with two friends, Matt and Eli. Have a great day, guys.
Hope you're inspired.
Peace.